name is Svita, and I'm from I Am Not an Artist YouTube channel, and so I'm not an artist at all. I don't even know any artist vocabulary. This clay is called, what is this clay called? It's called Natural Clay from Craftsmart. I can put the link in below if you want to know what type of clay that I'm actually using here. I'm just wetting it a little bit because it's getting kind of dry. I've been doing this over and over again because I have not been getting the results that I like at all in any way, shape, and or form. So there's that. And yeah, so let's begin. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a ball. Making the ball is super important, especially when we're beginning here, because the ball is what will turn into the pedal. So that's the way I do it. I just roll it in my palm just like that. Then I squish it. Now, people just squish it anyway, but what I like to do is make a, see how this is kind of like a triangle? I like to keep that triangle look. So this is how I'm pinching it. I'm pinching it like this. This is where my bone is right here. So this is like the DIP right here, the DIP, and then I'm pushing my DIP with the PIP, kind of the deal like this. So I'm just pushing the joints together as I am, you know, pinching them off. If you want to look up those joints, you can do so if you feel like it. That I'm pushing with. So then first I make a cone shape. Now, to make the cone shape on camera is very difficult because it doesn't look as good, for sure. And I'm going to make everything facing you. Second, then I just grab another chunk of clay. And then I make it into a ball again. Once I make it into a ball, I just squish it, just like this. Squish, squish, squish. And just FYI, if you leave it out while you're doing it, it dries up real quick, real quick. So then I just keep it thick, and then I wrap this one around the outside of the other one, just like that. But you see how high it is? It is much higher than the inside clay. I do the same with this. When you start getting the hang of it, you don't need to make a ball anymore. I'm not an artist, so I wouldn't actually know the way that people do the petals necessarily. But I like just to pinch off the top, just like this. And when I pinch off the top, then it makes something like this, like a fan. Fan, like fans. And then I pinch the top part, just like that. I pinch it and then I close it in. Close it in, I close it in, I close it in. Because that's just hugging the other part, which is hugging the other part. And then sometimes you can just push these out. Just like so. Just like so. And then, of course it's easily fixed. Honestly, I cannot paint to save my life, so I'm glad we're just doing clay. And so I was like goofing off at, you know, the place where I work. And just making flowers and goofing off, and somebody asked me if I could teach them, and so I was definitely willing to teach because I don't mind. And then some other people asked, and so I'm making this video, so I didn't. Now you can just go to the video, and I can just say, go to the video. The video has everything completed for you. So that's what I do. That's all I do. I just squish, 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 and make a nice little fan. Just like that. And then I just put it on. But remember, I am pinching it, and I'm making sure it's a little bit higher than the last petal that I put on there. Because that's what gives it depth. I think a lot of the times when people are doing the flowers or the art or whatever, they're missing out the other dimensions that you can play with, you know. You can play with the dimensions a little bit more, which makes it a little bit more real or maybe a little bit more fake. But, you know, if you're just playing around, then who cares? That's why I really like clay. Clay's awesome because even though I'm getting it super thin at the top, if I just let it harden a little bit, I can get a little bit more height from it, a little bit more volume. And then the volume is what gets you, you know? So I'm going to open this pedal up just a lot compared to everything else. And I'm just going to let that fall. Just let it fall naturally. And I'm going to let this one fall a little bit too. I'll let a few fall on the inside. Just like that. And then I'm going to just pinch off this one. So that way it falls kind of like, these ones are heavier. And then you can just keep doing it over and over and over and over again until you can get a nice solid looking flower. Now, I'm going to put this way over here because every single time I do this, to get the petals really big, just to finish it off, I always bump it and then to restart. Honestly, then you get to this big, right? When you get into the bigger pieces of clay, pinch early. Trust me, it saves you a lot of pain, heartache at the end. And I'm looking at the camera, so not very good. iPhone 5, what? Amazing. I'm insane. I'm in my room by myself, talking to a camera. Anyway, so this is a big old piece, and I just want to hug the rest of this guy. I tore it in the back. See that? Not perfect. Not perfect at all. But as long as I make the depth real, you know, really push and give it a natural, like it's falling, right? Like it's falling. You can see the difference between something that like this and what other people have done doing. So just follow the concepts. Understand that the thinner you make this, the more it falls naturally. The more the natural it looks. And you can even push it in. So you can see the inside, hopefully. See that? You can see this part, the inside. How I push this in right here. I push this in just to give it a little bit more texture. And I'm pulling this in. And see how much more depth that you get in there. You can put this on, you know, honestly, I don't know. I make a lot of sculptures for fun, so I wouldn't know what you would put it on exactly. But you could do that, and it could make it look really heavy at the top. But anyway, yeah. I hope you liked my little tutorial. If you want to know more about texture and pushing stuff, just let me know. But I'm not an artist. I just do this